Right, learners, so let's carry on now. So after you did task 5, which we did together, and I balanced the accounts with you, I asked you then to go on with task 4, the old task 4, and you had to fill those in to the same general ledger accounts, and then you had to rebalance. Now that work is in the memo on the web page. If you have a look under the training memo, you will see that the whole exercise is there. It's written under task 7, and all the details are here, right down, including all the balancing. So please will you check very carefully, and if you're not sure, then go to your teachers and get them to explain why you got entries wrong. But what I want to now just bring in is the next concept, because you are asked here to draw up a trial balance. Now the purpose of a trial balance is to check that we've done all the double entries. Remember we said right at the beginning that when we're doing the ledger we have to have a debit and a credit, and the two must be equal to each other. Now in order to ensure that we have done that, we draw up a trial balance. Now a trial balance is a summary of each account and what the final balance is. So if we take in task 7, the first account you had is your bank, and you had March and April's entries. By the end of April we balanced the account and we brought down an amount of 67,330 for May. So that's what you're starting May off. But that is the same figure. At the end of April, that's the amount of money you had in the bank. The reason why I know I had it in the bank, because the receipt side, the debit side, was more than what I had paid out. So although this balance carried down is written on the credit side, it's brought down here. It's a debit balance. So when you go to your trial balance now, all you're going to do is take that 67,330 and put it onto the debit side. Same side as the final figure. If we then look, capital had only one figure. Remember your Daxel rule, capital's on the credit side. So onto the credit side goes 50,000. Your hairdressing equipment changed quite a bit over the 2 months. By the end of it, you've got 10,000 Rand of hairdressing equipment and you've got 8,000 of office equipment. Now both of those amounts go into your trial balance. Now I want you to go on and do the rest of the accounts and put the final total or final balance into the accounts on the same side as the final balance or total. And so there all your accounts are, please, into the debits and credits, and we total up at the end of the time, and if both of these are the same, then we know we've completed a double entry for the amounts. You put an amount once on the debit and once on the credit, and so the two sides do add up to the same. Now that is absolutely essential. It's part of our control as a bookkeeper, as the accountant in the business. We need to make sure that we are balancing every single month. If these amounts were not agreed, it means at least one, if not more, errors have been made, and you'd have to go through entry by entry, checking your entries, checking that you put the same amounts on both sides, checking that you put one on the debit and one on the credit, checking your totaling, your balancing, and so on, until you find the error. In business, it would be totally unadvisable to actually carry on if this is not balancing, because if you're not balancing this month, you're not going to balance next month. Now there are some situations where this trial balance might balance, but you could have made an error still. So it's not foolproof. It's not that you're going to not make any errors, but it goes a long way to ensuring that what we've done up to that point has been done correctly with double entries. So trial balances are very, very important to you learners. But remember that at the end of the day, you're using the Daxel rule again. The DAX, the drawings, the assets, and the expenses are the accounts that are on the debit side. The SIL, the capital, the income, and the liabilities are on the credit side. So if I gave you just a list of figures and asked you to put them into a trial balance, you would go back to that same DAXL rule. So now, as you're moving through your exercises, doing ledgers, you're going to be completing trial balances to make sure that you've done all your entries correctly.